Please enjoy our feature presentation. The Little Green Dress presents Traditions and Legacies. Today's guest, Stephanie Captain. Hi, I am Kim Gresham, Queen K, author of The Little Green Dress children's book series. That's me right there. Well, this is my mom right here. This is my book. This is me back here. How you guys doing? And my series is about traditions and legacies. And, getting the traditions started early for your children. And so I have branched off into talking to the parents about traditions that they might have in their family. So today we have Stephanie Michelle Captain. She's supposed to come on here today and talk with us today and talk to us about some traditions in her family.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
We did
wonderful.
it.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm
That's
doing
great.
good.
I'm not
This
an
is
expert at this.
Well, I'm still learning myself. I'm still learning. This is just my second interview on Instagram. I've been doing
Okay.
my other ones on Facebook, and so I got kind of confused on which one we were supposed to do today. So which one was easier for you is the one we were going to do. So I'm Kim Gresham, and I am the author of The Little Green Dress, and you are.
I am Stephanie Captain, and I am the author of quite a few books.
Okay.
Um, but my latest book is Aria.
Oh, okay. That's cute. I love
Yes.
the colors. Very vibrant.
Yes. I wrote that in honor of my granddaughter, only granddaughter,
Okay.
who turned 3. And it's basically about leaving the challenging 2s, going on to being 3 and becoming a big girl.
Oh, that's so sweet. My books are for my grandbabies as well.
Oh,
I have three grandgirls. I have a set of twins that are 7, and then the oldest is 10.
oh wow. Yeah. Nothing
Yeah.
like it.
Ain't nothing like it, right? Right about now, they're over with my mother while I'm doing this, and then I gotta go pick them up as soon as I get done doing it.
Oh.
Yeah. So not my series is about traditions and legacies, and so I've branched off and I talk to, the older people, the parents or people who, have was brought up with traditions, in their family. And so I'm just kind of curious to know if you were brought up with any traditions in your family and tell me all about it.
Well, for our family, the number one thing is having a foundation of faith, faith and family and food. My
Faith
grandmother was
and
an
food.
yes, my grandmother was an awesome cook. She could
Uh-huh.
bake anything, she could cook anything, and you find out a lot about people when you're sitting around eating.
Yes. Yes,
So,
you do.
we had a foundation of faith. She was one of the people that started the church that I grew up in.
Okay.
And she was a pillar in our neighborhood. Everybody knew that you could go to her house and not only get something to eat, but you could get some wisdom. If you needed shelter, you can get that. And she just was accepting of people.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Do you find yourself being that way as well because it was passed down?
I believe so. I never really thought about it until now because my husband retired from the military, from the Army after 26 years. And during the course of that time, we housed a lot of people. We were foster parents. We took in children of military parents that were deployed. Sometimes they would have dual deployment. So we've always had children.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always, anybody knows, if you come here, you're going to eat.
Okay. Food does something. It's just good for your soul.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just really is. When I say comfort food, it really does. It really does comfort you. Yeah. So, are you passing anything down? Like, are you passing that same thing down to your children, or are they doing that in their homes?
I believe so. They are one of our traditions that we still have, and we do even now. We have family game night because you have to remember to have fun with each other. And sometimes, especially when you're dealing with adult children, it's not always as easy to get together because they have their own lives, they have their own careers, and we have
Mm-hmm.
two families that come together. And so we have family game night. We try and do that at least every other Friday, and it's awesome. It's
I
awesome.
bet. I bet. I love family game night. That's one of my favorite things to do. I have just a closet full of games now, old school games, because they're still in the boxes. We still have the puzzles to move around like the pieces. That's the kind of game nights I like, really, those kinds, because they just don't. And food, that more and more
Yes,
closeness. That's so
yes.
awesome. I love that. I really do love that. So, tell me a little bit more about your books.
I have books. I try to encompass everybody. So I have a series of meditation, inspirational books, self help. I have a line. My favorite line, I would think, in the children's books, but my next favorite are a book of romance, Christian romance books that I have. And
Okay.
they kind of tell a story. It's
Mhm.
three in my first series, and they just kind of tell a story, but they're also important because they deal with legacy. I believe that you should honor your elders. That's the generation that I grew up in. And I
Mhm.
was taught that you respect all people. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves love. And
Yeah.
people need to be remembered and honored. So in my books, I use the names of my ancestors. That's my way of honoring them. I
Yeah.
used my great great grandparents. I went on Ancestry and found out about my roots and who I was and where I came from. And it
Yes.
goes back 4 or 5 generations. And so I use those names to honor them. And then I tell my children, this is where that came from, or this is where my line of romance books are called the Hunt series. Well, that's the name of my grandmother.
Hunt.
Yes. So
Yes.
one of the characters, their name is Amelia Waiters. Well, that was the name of one of my grandparents. So
Mhm.
I try to keep them going. And so if they
Mhm.
ever read the book, you'll find that, okay, here's your legacy here.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that because in my series there are little nuances in that book that that just tells of who we are. Like the cover of my daughter's book, it's blue, but it also has a pattern of the military, but it's in blue. The camouflage.
Yes.
Well, her book is that like that because at that time I was in the military and I was deployed and I was off to war. So she had to take her picture and her dress with my mom.
Yes.
And so they would, look at my picture on the wall and things like that. But that's why her book has a military background or the military cover because I was in the military. Just little things like that. And my mother is the Duchess of Holman in the book, Hulman, but that's the street she lives on.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So yeah, it's just little things like that. I love that.
Oh,
I love
yes.
that. That's because when you go back and you see yourself in there, you're just like, oh, that's me, and you've been immortalized. Like it's not too many. I tell my grandbabies all the time, it's not too many kids that have books written for them right now. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's a big thing. So we're talking about legacy. Let me ask you the legacy question. And the legacy question is, if you were to leave this earth today, what legacy would you leave?
I believe in it's a way that I try to live. First of all, again, having a foundation of faith, but
Yeah.
also living your purpose, doing what I believe that you are called to do. Because to me, that's the only way that you will have true fulfillment. My grandparents, and my great grandparents, and even my mother, they didn't have a lot of money. They had some land, but they didn't have a lot of money and things like that to leave us. But what they taught us was to love yourself, to respect yourself, to
Mm-hmm.
respect others, to honor God, to be givers.
Yes.
My mother is 83 years old and she will feed and clothe anybody,
That is so
and so
awesome.
that was passed down to us. So I believe that, that is the biggest thing. And you say if you were to leave this earth today, I honestly believe that every human being should have their own funeral. I believe that you should see that. See the
Mm-hmm.
people, visualize it there, see everything, and say, okay, what do I want to do before that time? How do I
Mm-hmm.
want to live before that time? Um, no regrets in this area. What is it that I haven't done? What is it that I want to do? What is it
Yeah.
that I feel like I left alone and I
Mm-hmm.
should go back to do it? And so maybe it was 2005. It was that I had a niece, and I tell her story. That's a part of our legacy because she was
Okay.
here, and although she's not here anymore, she has to live on. And she was murdered, domestic violence. She was stabbed to death by her husband. But that totally changed my life in a lot of ways. But one of the ways it actually did for me is to cause me to live and not exist. And so, what I want to do, what I feel like I'm supposed to do, we go for it. We go for it.
I know that's right, because
We go
you
for
have to
it.
live as if today
Yes.
was your last.
Yes. And I,
We are living in times that today could be your last. I mean, we can go anywhere, go to the grocery store and touch a COVID, anything, and you never know. You just never know. So, and if you're living the life the way you want to and living it to the fullest, then when it is your time to go, you will live on. The people will remember the good in you. You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Yes.
They will remember the good. Oh, I thank you so much. That was such a good and powerful lesson. I really appreciate that. And I thank you so much for trusting me and coming on here with me and talking to a complete stranger. But that's how you get to know people, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
It has
Yes, ma'am.
completely been a pleasure and an honor to be here. I totally believe that everybody has a story to tell. So I love hearing yours. It's an inspiration to keep going. And there's a lot of us out of there. We have to push one another.
Yes, yes, and keep going forward, keep coming up with
Yes,
ideas to just, to get our babies of color, where they need to be. I just want the family history to start at home and start teaching them early, so if they ever get back to the classroom and the teacher asks
yes,
them who they are, they can stand up and say, "I do this. Me and my family
yes,
do that."
yes,
And I love being a part of this family, and because I'm a part of this family, I'm gonna do this. So
yes.
it starts at home. And
It really
like I
does.
said, I really appreciate it. And I hope we collaborate again. If you ever need me, or just call me or ask me, and I'll try to do my best to help you out, okay? Or whatever
Yes,
I need
ma'am.
to bring.
Same
All
here.
right? Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. And you have a really good day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, that was sweet. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and share The Little Green Dress Presents Traditions and Legacies. Also, click and subscribe to the YouTube channel.